Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are looking at the week after Labor Day. I'm sure everybody's up and about going, oh, God, here we go. Another short week. Thank goodness. I have the pleasure of meeting with a friend today as our Realtor of the Week, Beth Petersen Randall of eXp Realty. Thank you.
Thank you.
A second-time guest. Which
I feel really honored.
No, I mean, I'll tell you what, I appreciate you not only being here,
Thanks.
but it was so fun the first time because your demeanor, your expertise, and all that stuff makes it so easy.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being on, my friend.
Yay.
Yes. And you're used to these podcasts.
Well, except I don't do videos with mine, so then I'm like, how do we look? Jake, do I look cute?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, gotta look cute on the Mike's podcast.
As always. So what I love about Beth is that with my career, I always put a plus after it. I stop like 25, I stop at like 30, and just put a plus. You know, that's enough. We don't need to get into details.
So should I be doing that too? Are you giving me a hint?
26 plus years, right? No, that's
I'm only
good, though.
35. How is that possible?
Yeah, well,
Mike?
believe me, you have aged very well, especially in this business. How long have you been in the business?
Like 26 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Mortgage, real estate, interior design, all of the above.
Is that kind of when you first got out of this? Because you traveled a lot. Tell us about your travels.
I've lived abroad.
Yeah.
So I've lived in Cancun.
Yeah.
Worked at Hooters in Cancun. That was
Wow,
a great time
baby,
of life.
yes.
I've lived in Romania and Puerto Rico, and I lived in Florida for 5 years.
Wow.
But I'm from Minnesota, so I always say, everyone from Minnesota comes home, so I came home.
You know, it's funny because I was just talking to somebody. We've got a place down in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And right about now, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But you get down there and you're just going, holy shit, this is hot. And you wake up and it's hot and it's humid, you know.
But you get used to it after
You get
a while.
used to it,
You know,
yes.
I had moved to Puerto Rico and Cancun like in the middle of the summer when it was like totally hot, and you're like, after a while you just get used to it.
Where did you, Prague as well?
No, Bucharest.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But traveled around a lot in Europe when I lived in Romania.
Which did you like best?
Well, now I've seen so much more of Europe since I lived there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love Istanbul is probably one of my favorite cities. But then I love Spain. Spain's
Yeah.
kind of like my new heartthrob.
My son, right before COVID, studied abroad in Barcelona.
I love Barcelona.
And it was so wild because me and my wife went and saw him, spent 10 days there, came back on March 7th, my birthday, just in case all you guys want to know. But when we came back, Trump the next day came on and said, we're shutting everything down.
Oh, wow.
And so we had to.
You're lucky you weren't stuck
shit,
there.
this was like a Tuesday, you know. I mean, well, thank God my wife had miles. I mean, otherwise this was a $3,000 ticket. I had to call my son. He's at a bar, and I said, here's the deal, dude. I'm sorry. You got to pack up and go. We got a flight for you on Friday.
Oh, my gosh.
And he's just like going, what? You know?
Yeah.
But Barcelona is so crowded that, you know, we're in cabs, door handles, millions of people,
Right.
and everything was fine. Anyways, so yes,
Let's not talk about
yeah,
that.
I know we don't need to deal with that whole BS. So tell us about your team. You got a cool team.
I do.
Three ladies and a guy.
I do. Well, there's technically four of us. So then I'm like the full-time agent.
Yep.
Carrie is ops manager. She's also newly licensed.
Nice.
Like in the last 6 months, which is great because then she can have deeper conversations with clients.
Yeah.
And you know, she can take listings. Like she's doing it. She's crushing it.
Is she the one that does your marketing?
No, that's Christy, our marketing and creative director.
Okay.
And then Christy's husband, Ryan, produces our podcast.
Oh, cool.
Like Christy and I, there's no way. Like if you didn't have Jake, you probably wouldn't be doing this. If I didn't have Ryan, I wouldn't be doing it either, right?
No, Jake is my my videographer, my motivational speaker, my inspiration, my physical therapist, my mental therapist, most importantly.
I'm not going to learn how to do all the techie stuff.
Yeah.
I can talk.
Well, and he's so good at editing, and I know that he's doing it for a number of teams. If you need anything done, Jake's here.
Right.
So then you've got...
And we have Cheryl is a part-time agent.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What do you think of a part-time position?
Well, so Cheryl is someone that I met Carrie and Cheryl through Chanhassen Rotary.
Oh, cool.
I love giving back to my community, and Rotary is such a great platform for that.
Yeah.
And Cheryl she's really big into the veterans community. Husband and 3 of her 4 kids are all vets.
Oh, great.
And so she had a really deep and vast database.
Yeah.
And she was in local politics, and she was like in family law. She was like she has her fingers in a lot of different things in our community.
Yeah.
But she doesn't necessarily want to sell full time. So, we partner together. She's like, I know that you're going to take care of clients at a high level. And so then, we tag team and do it together. So it works really good.
When I saw her last name, I'm like going, I wonder if...
Do you know Bob AI?
Yeah,
everybody
of course,
does.
of course. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic, and God bless her for taking care of the military.
I know.
The
She's
much
so
needed,
passionate
much
about
needed.
it.
Yeah, good. 170 podcasts?
Yeah.
Holy buckets, Beth.
Well, podcasts have huge fail rates. This
Big
is
time.
not easy to do.
Yes.
You have to find guests. You have to come up with subjects. You have to have, your video person on standby to be able to do everything. And so the fail rate's pretty high. And so Christy and I, when we went all in on it, now we're in 3+ years into podcasting. Every Monday a new episode comes out. And it's really rewarding.
They're fantastic. So tell people how to get to them, because I was at your website and listened to about 10 of them. God, they're good. It's just, but you're 100% correct. They're hard to do it. So how do people find them?
So we're on Spotify, iTunes, like all of the channels, and it's called Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench. So it's real estate, marketing, life. We talk about money mindset, and just really, it's all about building a longer table for like everyone to feel like they have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And so even though we're categorized under the real estate marketing category, like in iTunes, and by the way, ranking like in the top 5, I'm pretty proud of that.
Wow,
but
listen to
it really
you.
is for like any entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it's been rewarding.
iTunes and stuff. Wow, Jake, come on, bro. We're not even on iTunes. Let's go, buddy. But that's fantastic.
Thanks.
So elaborate on the Girl Get Your Face Off the bus bench.
Well, so Christy and I have been friends for
freaking
years,
great. Yeah.
and we had a happy hour. Like we had this iconic happy hour, and she was sort of in a transition phase. She had like a young child, and she had been one of the top wedding photographers in the Twin Cities, which she is very humble about that.
Yeah.
So I love to toot her horn on that. And she was really like looking for a transition. So we met for this happy hour, and she's like, okay, I just have a question. She's like, why do real estate agents still put their face on a bus bench? I'm like, and I'm sure I just sat there with like a deer in a headlight, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's just kind of how it's always been.
Yeah.
That's with a lot of real estate marketing. It's like, it's just because this is the way it's always been. She's like, God, this could be done so much better. And I'm like, tell me more about that. And then from that happy hour, we started working together part-time, and then it became like a full-time thing.
Wow. So just the moral of the story is a lot of good ideas happen at happy hour. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But you're 100% correct. I just drove by, a bunch of them, right? And I'm seeing an insurance person. I'm like going, dang it. I don't know how much they are. But
I don't know.
Now the new thing seems to be a billboard, which are just expensive as hell, right?
Well,
but I love this. I love what you're doing and sharing your message.
Well, and of course it's brand recognition, right? Like I'm not so naive to think that they don't like work. Do they work? Yes, on some level. But are people so compelled when they drive past a bus bench, they're like, oh my God, I got to write that phone number down? Probably not.
Right.
So could you be taking that money and putting it into other things to get a better ROI? Most likely.
Do you ever think about wrapping that beautiful car of yours?
No.
And
No.
she's got a beautiful car, But I don't blame you because that's another.
Sometimes I drive too fast. I don't want people to be like, "Oh God, there she is."
Yeah, there she is. She just ran me off the freaking road.
Come on, I'm married to a cop, a retired cop. I gotta,
Where was he at? Where is
Carver
he?
County.
Oh, was he? Okay, perfect. Hopefully he doesn't know me. I'm just saying, Well, that's great. How long ago did he retire?
2 years ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Are you happy about that?
Yeah. Yep, he's transitioning.
A Carver County, my brother's son was a Carver County, what are they, sheriffs? Yeah.
The sheriff department.
And he just said it was so easy. You know what I mean?
No, no, it was not easy.
No?
No.
Lots of activity. It wasn't the murders. It wasn't the...
There are murders in Carver County.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that was on 48 Hours last year.
Well...
that farmer that was killed in
Young
America.
Yeah.
Home invasion. So there is stuff that happens. I would say it's like different stuff than what you see in the inner city.
Minneapolis, yeah.
But it's still dangerous. It's something
Did it make you nervous?
It didn't initially because I didn't let myself think about it. And then as I spent more time thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of scary. And then he goes and signs up for task force and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is not great.
I understand Minneapolis is paying well. Maybe you should come out of retirement.
No, we are not coming out of retirement. He is not coming out of retirement for that sort of thing. No. You heard it here.
There you go. You listen well. And I know this subject has gotten beaten to death, but the NAR settlement, right? Because we do this obviously on a Realtor Connect podcast, of course, but we also do it on YouTube. So there's a lot of people watching it that aren't part of the real estate industry.
Right.
How much education have you had on it? I'm assuming ad nauseum. But what do seller and buyers take from this?
I think as long as it gets explained in a way that has less legal ease to it. I mean, I have not had any resistance at all from buyers and sellers. Truly, the most resistance I've had is the agent on the other side of the transaction, because every brokerage has these little weird nuances about how they want things done right now. And in my opinion, I feel like the whole point of the lawsuit was to create more transparency, right? And I think that it's almost creating more of a cluster, what situation.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And our EXP brokerage has taken a really hard stance on a couple of things, and everyone's giving us so much pushback about it. I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, there's a lot of ego in real estate. I'm like, I'm going to put my ego aside because this is about my client. My client wants to buy, my client wants to sell. And how do we make that happen? And everyone plays nice in the sandbox and we get it to the finish line.
So I'm a seller, right? I don't want to pay a buyer right now, right, as part of my listing contract. How do you handle that?
Well, Mr. Seller, where do you think our buyers are going to come from if you're not willing to pay a buyer's commission?
Should we wait until we see how the buyer's offer is presented?
Well, so now, just like I always say, Mr. Seller, this has always been negotiable.
Correct.
It was written up front in our listing contract, and we might not have that exact language now in our listing contract. So now the commission is going to be presented in our offer. But if we want buyers to come with buyer's agents, we are still going to have to be paying them. But everything's negotiable. So maybe if your bottom line isn't exactly what you want, maybe we push back a little bit on commission, or maybe we push back on the price. It's all negotiable. It always has been.
Correct.
So
correct.
Mr. Seller, you want to sign our listing contract and get your house on the market? Let's do it.
And so, but are you putting in a buyer's commission at that point? Or are you saying that we are receptive?
No, we are open to it. Seller is open to negotiating a seller commission buyer commission.
Is that already priced in?
We are factoring that in the price.
Factoring it in right away.
Yeah.
You're not going to say if we are going to pay this, we will raise it by 2.5% or 3%.
No, that's not really how those conversations have been going.
Okay,
We're kind of
good.
we have sort of like maybe an assumptive number in our head.
Yeah.
But you never know what buyer's agent's going to come in. What if it's a buyer's agent that isn't seeing their worth and they haven't negotiated a good commission with their clients? What if they come in with 2.5 and we're
Right.
like, well, we would have paid up to 3%. Great. I just saved my seller
Yes.
0.5%.
That was kind of my point, is
Yeah.
that I would hate to put in there 3%.
Right.
The buyers agree to pay, 2.5, whatever, and now you're out 0.5%.
Right.
How much do you think that this was caused by agents saying, I'm not, and I only experienced this as an asset manager for a foreclosure deal, where I would put a listing out there for 3,
Yeah.
you'd get tons of activity. You'd put it in there for 2.3 because that's what the bank wanted. And people are like, I'm not going to show that. I refuse to show a home.
I think it's happening
that
more often than what you think.
Yeah.
Which, again, this lawsuit goes back to transparency. So if an agent is basically, like, oh, what? That house isn't still available. You're like, come on, you're doing your client a disservice. And this is the whole point. This is why lawsuit came up in the first place.
But it seemed like social media didn't stop. You know what I
No.
mean? People still put this stuff out there. And
Yeah.
I'm like going, Greg Anderson, who we've, from down in Chaska, talked about this at length by saying people still don't get it.
No, they still do not get it.
Talk about this stuff to where they may reopen this thing.
Well, like here locally in the Twin Cities, every brokerage is doing it a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I think that now that's the part that, okay, like, did the world end? No, the sky did not fall. After August 17th, we're all still here.
Right,
we're all still
right.
buying and selling homes. I'm saying this like sort of tongue in cheek, let's be clear.
Yep.
It's like a shell game. Like, I'm moving the
agree.
commission from this shell to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
shell. It's still there, but how we're presenting it is different. But we've had buyer representation contracts in Minnesota for years. So like none of that changed, but other parts of the country I think are probably feeling the of that because that isn't the norm in every market.
I love how extensively you've studied it. You know what I mean? Because I think you have to CYA, right? I mean, you
I
just
have to educate my clients. If
you
I'm
gotta
not
educate
educated, how
them.
can I educate my clients?
Yes,
How can I give them
yes,
peace of mind?
yes.
Half of them don't even know what the NAR lawsuit's about, but I still have
Correct.
to tell them about. And the other ones that are like freaked out about it, I have to calm their nerves.
Yeah.
We are still going to sell your house. We are going to still help you buy a house. It's just going to be, the paperwork is different.
Yeah.
The negotiation part of it's slightly different. We're still going to get to the same end result.
Well, and I think it's the uneducated that say, I don't have to pay commissions. But your first
Come
line to
on.
me was brilliant. Okay, you don't have to pay them.
But where are buyers going to come from?
Yeah, where are buyers going to come from, right?
Are they just going to magically fall out of the air? It
and I
doesn't
think
work that way.
this is a perfect lead into the next deal. You've got tons of experience,
Yeah.
tons of friends, tons of former clients. Yet I had the pleasure of seeing Beth at a open house in Minnetrista for some dear friends of yours. Why open houses?
I think this market, you have to do a little bit of old school and new school. New school meaning you have to be on social media, even when, you're like, you and I, like, this is not our first rodeo, but I'm like,
Right.
we have to get on board or we're going to be left behind. But then I think all of like the young bucks that are new in real estate don't necessarily want to like pick up the phone. They might not want to do open houses. They might not want to do the door knocking, but that's the old school stuff that still works also. So
Yeah.
I think you have to pick like what are strong suits of yours? What are you good at? What are old school, new school things? Marry it all together. And I think that's how you stay relevant. I think that's how you stay, you have an evergreen business where like my phone just rings now.
Yeah, good.
But I still have to go out and find new business. It has to be a little bit of everything. So yeah, open houses.
So
You
when
never know.
When you do an open house, do you door knock around?
Sometimes.
Depending on what the place
Yeah,
is?
sometimes. So in that community where you happen to live, actually,
Yeah.
it has so many beautiful community features. It's like resort style living. So what I did open houses there 2 weekends in a row, and
Yeah.
I just drove around the community. before my open house, like as I'm setting up the signs, and I filmed myself. Like,
Oh,
hey,
cool.
oh my gosh, look at the pool. The pool, the gigantic pool overlooks Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Here's the secondary pool. Here's some trails. You can ride a golf cart around this community. Did you know that? Like, do you love to go on vacation? Maybe you're gonna love living in this neighborhood. So then I'm creating extra content other than just like my pictures on social media. Like, how would you, like, what's the lifestyle? What kind of life would I expect if I lived in this community?
Right.
So that's what I did on that particular one, but it's different with every single listing.
Yeah, but I love the creativity with it. You know what I mean? But
That's the outside of the box thing.
Yeah. And I like the old school, new school mindset. You forgot two places, though. Grumpy's Bar, amazing pizza, and Buddy Boy's Barbecue, miles
Oh my
away.
God. Buddy Boy's Barbecue. I'm going to go on record. I don't even go there for barbecue. It is the best ribeye in Twin Cities.
I know.
I just went there for dinner on Friday. It was so good.
We'll have to go enjoy it.
Oh my God, it's so good.
The owners are just amazing people.
Yeah.
5 kids, faith-driven.
Yes.
And they put their on the line
Yeah.
by building this new place, and they've done amazing.
Well, my in-laws, we took my in-laws there with us.
Okay.
And I said, it's one of those things where you're like, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
The parking lot was jammed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, they have created something really special in St. Bonnie.
4 days a week. That's what they're
They're
open.
doing it. Yeah.
Wow, and Joe and Jen are just amazing people. So where do you want to take your team? Or do you want to build your team? Or what do you want to do? I mean, obviously
We've kind of gone in reverse.
Okay.
We had a bigger team last year,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't working.
Right.
It wasn't working.
With the agents themselves, or just being as
I think
big
it was
as
a
it was?
combination of everything.
Okay.
So we sort of like regrouped, refocused, what are these, like circle the horses or whatever?
Yeah,
That's sort of what we did.
Yeah.
And it's going better. We're selling more homes now. There's less distractions, and it's going really great.
I love your creativity.
Thanks.
And because I've watched your career, and it's so cool to see how, because you have to be adaptable.
You have to.
Right? I mean, even with my business, you
Everything.
have to figure it out.
The only thing that's predictable in real estate and mortgage is that there's going to be change.
Yeah, yes. Yep.
And so, like, if you're not going to pivot, or if you're going to be that old, like, curmudgeony stick in the mud, you're not going to get the business.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to, like, be flexible. And I think that's where you and I have really thrived in this over the years.
Well, and it's I'm still going to check that 26 years, because if I figured out it's 40 minus 26, when did you start?
I wish.
Well, you look fantastic, and I can't tell
My
you how much.
birthday month, Mike.
Huh?
It's my birthday month.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What
I celebrate
day?
a whole month.
What
of
day is
birthdays.
it?
The
What day?
22nd.
The 22nd.
Yes.
All right, everybody, September 22nd.
Yep.
Get the messages out there. Well, that's fantastic. Boy, you celebrate a month? I want to see the day pass. I'd just like, oh, God.
No, my mom's created like birthday monsters in all of us, where she's like, so I had a girlfriend. Christy texted me on September 1st. She's like, happy first day of your birthday month. Everybody knows, like, I love to celebrate birthdays. So that was a little learning curve when I met my husband. I'm like, yeah, this is how I do it. This is how I was raised. And he's like, oh my God, you're crazy.
This is enough.
But now he loves it for his birthday month too, because he gets spoiled all month
Do
long.
you expect gifts every day from your husband?
No.
I love it.
I have to give him like a spreadsheet. Here's some birthday idea gifts.
At least give me 4.
He gave
you
me
know?
mosquito fogger for my birthday one
Oh,
year.
wow.
No, Mike, that's not, oh, wow. That's like, what?
But that's a dude. You know
I
what I
opened
mean?
the gift and I'm like, I'm looking at him. I'm like, is there a trick here? I don't understand this. And he's like, well, I mean, you hate mosquitoes. Now you can kill mosquito in like a 10-mile radius. I'm like, this is not a birthday gift.
Yeah,
this is
right.
like a household gift.
And if you do
don't
this-
ever buy me a birthday gift from Menards ever again. So now it's just like this ongoing joke about him buying a mosquito fogger.
That's so fun. Well, I appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me.
When
Again.
we talk about the Realtor of the Week, you exemplify it, because you are flexible, you are adaptable, and you just, you get it, and you've succeeded at it.
Thank you.
So please visit her podcast. Look up her website. Tell us the website, because I love
The
this.
website is thebprexperience.com.
Yeah, how did you come up with that?
Well, BPR is my initials, and I just really wanted everyone to like have an experience. Like when they work with a team, everybody knows a real estate agent.
Right,
So like our
right.
tagline is real estate only better. So
Yeah.
when you end your transaction with us, I want you to say like, yeah, that was so much better than any other real estate transaction I've ever had.
I think that when we talk about, because we've had some brand new people, doesn't matter the age, experience matters. And I think that you exemplify that. So thank you, my friend. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me. I
coming on.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming here this week. I know it's after a long weekend. Your kids are out of the house and you could be doing other things. Thanks for watching us. Please visit our Instagram and YouTube channel. Realtor of the Week for both of them. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week.